Hi guys. So, it was supposed to be Jess doing her makeup for Tuesday, but she works in the daytime, so she can't do it. So I'm going to do the split session that we have scheduled, and then when Jess has recorded her shoulder one, I'm just going to email it out to everyone who was booked. Okay. My computer's having a fit. 1 second. It's coming up with like every Word document I've ever had in my entire life is suddenly like flashing through the screen. Okay, so front splits, I'm gonna use some blocks. So if you have blocks, great. If not, you can use books. I think that's it. I might use a chair at some point, but I literally think that's it. So let's get warm. So I'm just going to mute you as usual, and then go ahead and unmute yourself to shout at me if you need me. I've just eaten a strawberry, a sweetie one, and now it's all stuck in my teeth as well. So I'm like, hillbilly, so prepared. Okay, so just finding your space will be to start with, and we're just going to start with some breaths in. One more. And just let the arms drop down. We're going to go head side to side. Ooh, big click. And then we look over the shoulder. And then we're going to roll the head forwards. And then we're just going to use the hands and put a little bit more pressure onto it if we want to. You don't have to. So just forwards. We're not doing any back bends, so we're not going to bother taking the head back. And then we're going to circle those shoulders up and round. Anybody. Good, and then straight arms, taking them back. Good job. So keeping them, that's it, other way, as close to us as we can. Nice and straight, really big push up at the top. Think about the palms facing up the whole time. That'll keep our shoulders externally rotated, which is why they're most flexible. Good, and I'm gonna go out and open. I haven't done front splits in about 3 weeks now because the other teachers have done it for me. So we'll see what's happened, and then diagonal. Be like 3 feet away from it, you watch. Good, and I'm gonna go side to side. And we're gonna circles with the chest. And the other way. And the other way. The dog is looking at me right now like very grumpy. And the other way. Good, Mo. What's the matter? Other way again. And let your head drop a little bit more. And the other way. And then we're going to move the hands onto the low back so that we can give them a little push. And then we're going to circle again, and we're going to focus on pushing the hips forwards, creating some space. And the other way. Good. Toes turned out slightly, and we're just going to squat down. Make sure you squeeze the bum at the top. And I'm going to hold at the bottom. So make sure you're not just sort of collapsing into this. Bum is pushed back, belly button sucked in, knees pushing wide. And then we're going to straighten the legs out. I'm going to tap the opposite foot if we can. Make sure you're moving your torso. So it's not just my arms, I'm swinging the body. And then we're going to tap both hands in front, out to the side, through the middle. Front, side, middle, keeping the legs straight. Doesn't matter if you can touch the floor or not. Good. And then we're just going to rest the hands down. So if you can reach the floor, great. If you can't, grab some blocks at this point, or anything that's a little bit higher that you can rest on. And then we're going to work on that pelvic tilt. So I want you to try and flick your hips so your bum's pushing up as much as possible, and then tuck it under. So hands on the floor if possible. You can rest them on the legs if not. Just make sure it's not on the knees, even though it does look like I'm on them. I'm not. And then we're going to try and circle. And the other way. Good. And then if you are, as I said, comfortable, you're just going to keep the hands on the floor for this. If you're not very comfortable and they're close by, grab some blocks. And then from this position, we're just going to point one foot behind us, make sure we're not going to kick the wall, and we're going to lift. So I'm keeping hip bones facing down. Squeezing the bum. And then switch sides. Good, and then just rest the feet down again. So nice flat back again. As I said before, if you're happy, your hands can just go onto the floor. If you're super happy, you could put the back of your hands on the floor and try and stand on the palms. Good. Okay, so we're just going to bring it back up. And we're going to do some basic squats and lunges to get a bit more heat in those legs. So we're going to go in like a little square. So I just want your hands on your hips, feet about hip width apart. We're going to go one leg, lunge forwards, step back. Same leg steps out into a squat and back. Same leg steps backwards and then back in. And then repeat. So this one will go back, to the side, to the front. Yeah, and then we're going to reverse it. So we go straight away on this leg again, and then this one. You're with me? So one leg, doesn't matter which. Ready? We're going to lunge forwards, dropping that back knee down towards the floor. Step it back, take it out to the side, push the knees wide, step it back, take it back, knee down to the ground, step it back, switch, out. Then we're going to go side. Then we're going to go forwards. Same leg, forwards. Then we're going to go side. Then we're going to go back. Switch leg, back, side, forwards. Easy peasy, yes? Let's change tempo. We're going to go slow. Ready? So hands on the hips, We're going to step forwards and sink down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it back. Out to the side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it back. Step back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Step together. Back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Together. 4, 3, 2, 1. Together. Forwards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Repeat. Forwards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Get that hand off that knee. Down. 4, 3, 2. Push them wide. Together. Back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. 4, 3, 2, 1. Together. 4, 3, 2, 1. Together. Forwards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, hopefully they're getting a bit warmer. We're going to do one more round. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to add some pulses on the end. Ready? Off we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other leg. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. To the side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Forwards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last half and then you're done. Go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. To the side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nearly there. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Forwards. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 4, 3, 2, 1. Give them a wobble. Very good. Okay, where's my yoga mat? Grab a drink if you want one. And then you're going to join me on your yoga mat or on your floor if you don't have a yoga mat. So we're just going to take it into a plank. So we're just going to check our plank for a sec, making sure that our back isn't arching. So sucking that belly button in, squeezing the bum, tucking the pelvis, pushing nice and hard through the toes into the floor, squeezing the legs straight, pushing through the hands, lifting those shoulders. Good. I like the little glances to like, is she frozen? Are we stuck here forever? So I'm going to take one foot, it's up to you which, and you're going to try and step it as far as you can between the hands. If you can't get it all the way, don't worry, just give it a wiggle. I want the back leg nice and straight, and we're just going to push those hips down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, we're still going to push forwards, and then we're going to fully extend the front leg, or as much as we can. Forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. That's it. 1,
2. And now we're going to push back, straighten out the legs as much as we can. Make sure both feet are pointing in the same direction. Make sure you feel like your hips are squared. So pull this one back, push this one forwards. Flatten the back as much as you can. If this feels awful, again, if they're close by, use your blocks. There's no problem using the block, okay? I would be better in this position with my back, with my hips trying to flick up, than I would down here, rounded, okay? So as straight as we can here for me. Now we're going to soften this back leg down to the ground. 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to let that back knee drop all the way down. Staying nice and flat still. So again, if needed, hands are just on my blocks, okay? Making sure that my back is trying to flatten. So I'm trying to push my bum the whole time out behind me as much as possible, okay? Then I want you to flex and point the foot. So if this intensifies the stretch for you, it doesn't mean your hamstring is necessarily tight, because it doesn't affect the length of the hamstring. What it means is that your sciatic nerve is tight, okay? So that sensation you're feeling is the nerve pulling. Just give me a little clue, the guys that are doing it. Does it intensify? If it does, put your thumb up. Okay, so we're going to do some nerve gliding today then, since you're all like, yes, this does not feel good. Now flex that foot for me and push those hips back again. Think about sucking the belly button in. Think about stretching your spine even longer. Good, then we're going to push forward, so bend that front knee, push the hips forwards, keeping the back hip pushing down. If you're not sure if you're really twisted here, tuck your toes under on that back foot and that'll stop your leg from rotating out, okay? Then we're going to use that front knee, if we can, to push us up. Once I've got up onto that knee, again, I'm going to use it to square myself. So I should push evenly through both arms. I'll find that this front leg wants to pull back a little and this back hip wants to push forwards. Squeezing the bum cheek on that back leg. Now at the moment, I'm letting my back help me, so I've got this arch going on. So now as I push to square, I'm going to suck my belly button in and I'm going to tuck my pelvis to take the arch away, and that should intensify it down. You can't see, down this thigh at the back. So square and then tuck the pelvis for me. If it feels okay and you want to make it harder, use the same hand as the back leg and reach over and across. And I'm going to bring the hand back down and we're going to sink it forwards again, so letting the back arch. Very good. If you can, you're going to move your hands to the inside of that front foot. So we're heading to our lizard pose. You can just let that back foot lie flat now. So double check the position of this leg. If my knee isn't over my ankle or behind it, I need to readjust. So if you found yourself here, I want you to scoot it forwards, okay? If you can't feel a stretch, I want you to scoot it forwards, okay? Then we're gonna think about walking the hands forwards a little bit. I'm still aiming to have as flat a back as possible. So if you feel like you're doing this, then just pause where you are and focus more on that chest driving forwards and down rather than getting any lower, okay? If you are happy, walk the hands forwards. And if you are still okay, from that position, you try and soften your elbows. Your elbow should end up in line with your ankle. If you're doing this version, don't be surprised if the outside arm goes down easy, but the inside is lifted. That's great, guys. Keep breathing. Now we're going to tuck the toes under again on the back foot. We're going to squeeze the thigh and we're going to straighten that back leg out, keeping as low as possible. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep squeezing it. This is great, keep going. And then we're going to drop it back down again. And then if we can, we're going to try and kick ourselves in the bum. So keep pushing the hips forwards. What we don't want is as the leg bends to do this. Okay, it'd be better the hips staying down and you're getting this far than you moving. That's it, so focus on the drive forwards. And then we're going to take the opposite hand and catch. So if you're on your elbows and you were comfortable, you can just do it from there. If you weren't comfortable, take it back up to the hands and then do it. I want you to pull it in as much as we can. Keep again, driving the hips forwards. Don't stick your bum back to find it. And from here, we're just going to gently rock the foot side to side so that if we happen to be really twisted, we're hopefully still going to hit the squarest parts. And we should also get all of the quads instead of just the dominant one. And then we're going to let that back leg go. We're going to walk back up onto the hands if we're not already there. And we're going to straighten out our front leg again. Good. We're going to bring that leg back so that we're on all fours. And we're just going to give ourselves a breather for a sec and do a few circles. Good job. Ooh. I hope you can't hear like the noises my body makes. Seems to have got worse in lockdown, like everything's like. Okay, so we're going to take it back into our plank. Pushing through those shoulders, belly button sucked in, bum engaged and tucked under, toes driving in, thighs squeezing. So if you can remember which one you did last time, that's super helpful. We're going to step forwards with the opposite foot. It wants to go so that the knee, again, is over the ankle or behind it. And we're just going to push forwards to start with. So try and keep that back leg fairly straight. Then we're going to push one down forwards and then straight as we can, or backwards. Forwards, backwards. And then we're going to straighten out that front leg. We're going to square the hips off if we need to. We're going to grab our yoga blocks again for our hands. And then we're going to soften that back knee for 4, so bringing it down towards the floor. Then we're going to drop it all the way down. And we're going to try and flatten our back. So I could have my blocks again. Thinking about pushing my tailbone out behind me like this rather than tucking it under here. Think about stretching your neck long, okay? Something that loads of people do in this is they think about nose to shin and they hunch forwards here, which encourages this to happen to my spine. If I look out ahead of me, I'm more likely to stay flatter. This tilt in the pelvis is the key to getting down there anyway. Okay, and now we're going to point and flex. We will come back to the nerve glider in a minute. Good, and then we're going to push forwards into a lunge, so pushing the hip forwards and down. If you want to, you can tuck the toes under to help keep you squared, We're going to use that front knee to lift the chest. To start with, my back is allowed to arch. So I'm going to use the hands to push and square myself. Can you see the difference there? So I was just like this. So my belly button was just going that way. By pushing, I've pulled this leg back, pushed this hip forwards and down. It's subtle, but makes a massive difference. And then we're going to take out the back arch. So tuck the pelvis, squeeze that bum cheek. If you wanted to intensify again, same hand as the back leg reaches across. I help if I lean my torso back as well. Makes it a bit more challenging. And then we're going to sink it down again. And then we're going to fold forwards. So we're trying to bring our hands to the inside of that front foot. Let that back leg relax now. If you're happy, you can walk the hands forwards, remembering to try and keep the back flat. And if you're happy, you could sink it down to the elbows. Try and breathe. And then we're going to tuck the toes under on that back leg. We're going to squeeze and lift. Ready? Hold it. Keep squeezing. And I'm going to drop it down, and we're going to try and kick the bum. 1. And then we're going to see if we can catch it with the, opposite hand. Thought I used the wrong hand then. And we're just going to rock. Good. Come back in. Straighten out that front leg. And bring it back in and give yourself a little circle again. Good job. Very nice. Okay, so just for a sec, we're going to work on, we're just going to open the hips a bit more, as if we were doing a middle split. The reason for this is sometimes, so in front splits, I don't know what my hair is doing. In front splits, can get quite focused on just the muscles that we're actually meant to be using, and we can forget about the muscles that we sometimes use by accident, or the ones that might be inhibiting the movement we're trying to get to. So we're going to do froggy. So froggy is the one where the knees go nice and wide. So I like to use like the mat as a guide. If you find froggy super easy and you wanted to, you could put your knees on blocks. So you're going to go knees wide. Your legs should be in line at right angles, thigh down, shin, and then feet really flexed. And then you're just going to bring, if you can, yourself down to your forearms. If you can't get down to forearms, but you have a sofa or something handy, then lean on that. The more you can relax, the better. If you're happy here, and you feel like you could, take it all the way down. The more relaxed you can get, the better. And then if possible, you're thinking about, again, tilting the pelvis up. So instead of having this super flat back, we're trying to lift the bum up. So I'm pushing the belly button down towards the floor. So this pelvic tilt is basically the key to all leg-based flexibility. You want a pancake, you need this tilt. You want splits, you need a tilt. So now we're just going to see in this position if we can go between the two. So we're going to tuck under, round the low back, flick the hips. Don't panic if there is hardly anything happening at all. Also don't panic if you need to move the whole body to get this little bit of movement. And then arch it again. Good, and come out. So we don't specifically work through frogs, obviously, in a front split, but as I said, sometimes it is the supporting structures that are limiting the rest of the movement. Right, we're going to work on hamstrings a little bit more. Grab a drink if you want one, and make sure you've got your 2 blocks or your 2 books in a moment. If you have a resistance band or a strap, that might be helpful as well if you don't feel like you can reach your feet on your own. Okay, so I'm going to use my blocks to start with, I think, for this. Okay, so I want you to take it up into a forwards fold with the legs together. So feet are together, legs are nice and straight, hands are on the blocks. Again, we're not going to think about rounding down here. We're going to try and flick the hips back, push the belly button down and look straight out ahead so that we've got a nice neutral spine. And then we're just going to let one knee soften and then the opposite. So pushing into the heel of the straight leg. And then we're just going to soften both and push both straight. Now when you soften, I want you to think about thigh and stomach meeting. And then as you straighten, I want you to imagine they're not going to come apart. So focus on trying to keep the stomach and the thighs touching as you push up straight. And then we're going to push up straight one more time. So if we can, we're trying to get the tummy onto the thighs. Good. Now, I'm going to do it with my blocks. I think you guys are using yours. So we're going to step into a pyramid pose or mountain pose. So whichever foot you want is just going to step forwards. So you want them wide enough that your back heel can push down. Narrow enough, should I say, so that your heel can push down. If you go too wide, it's a lot trickier. But not so wide that you feel really off balance, okay? Your feet should be on train tracks, so both pointing in the same direction, but not on like a tightrope line, okay? From here, again, flattening the back as much as we can, we're gonna think about releasing some of the pressure out of our hands, okay? So I want straight legs, and I wanna see if I can come to my fingertips, and if I can lift the hands out to the side without rounding the back too much. If that was okay, I'm going to see if I can move my hands onto my shin bone If it was still okay, I'm going to see if I can hold the back of my ankle. And if it was still okay, don't worry if you can't reach all the way. I'm going to reach back towards the knee of the back leg. If I was still happy, I would grab around it. I'm going to let go again, and I'm just going to see if I can bring my hands to either side of that front foot. If it feels too difficult, again, grab those blocks and just rest on those instead, okay? Flat back is better than rounded back. I'm going to push through that back foot to come up onto my tippy toes, putting more pressure now into this front foot. If you need to, you stop there. If it feels okay, you rock a bit more weight and you just hover that foot off the ground. Your focus should be your nose getting as close to your big toe as possible. Now you don't have to move the hands, but if you felt okay, think about reducing the pressure again, so that all the weight is going through the leg and the fingertips are just helping you balance. Good, and then we're going to step that foot in so that we're back into our pike. So this whole sequence can be done with the blocks, guys, if you need to. Then we're going to take the other foot and we're going to step it back. Remember, not too wide so that I can get my heel flat, not too narrow that I'm, wait, opposite. Not too wide that I'm off balance. So if it felt okay, I'm going to see if I can lift my hands. If it was still okay, I'm going to rest them onto my shin. If it was still okay, I'm going to hold the back of my ankle. If it's still okay, I'm going to reach towards my back knee. And if it was still okay, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to move my hands to either side of my front foot. And I'm going to see if I can press up onto my tippy toe of that back leg. If I'm okay, I'm going to see if I can lift it. Thinking about my nose going to my big toe. And then I'm going to see if I can come to fingertips. Nice straight standing leg. And step into a pike. Flattening my back out again. I'm just going to sit down. Good job. Well done. Okay, so we're getting around to our gliding now. Nerve gliding. And I also want to just do a little drill that I liked. I quite liked when we did it as a double, and lots of people told me it would. So we're going to do it as a single. So, sorry, my hair just keeps. That's what you're getting, guys. Oh dear. Right, so grab a block, possibly two. Depends how, I can't do it. Depends how loose you feel. So we're just going to sit in our pike. We're going to think about the hips pushing out behind us and the back flattening. And then we're going to let one leg bend in so that the sole of the foot is against the knee of the straight leg or on the shin. Don't let it come up into the thigh because that rotates us out into a different stretch. Okay? So then we're going to take one of the blocks, we're going to bend this straight leg and we're going to pop the block under the knee. Okay? Your optional second block is to go onto this, do the other side because then you can just see it better. So your optional other block would go onto this thigh. Okay? if I was using this one, what I want to think about is lying onto it, squashing it, okay? If it feels like it's getting in your way, if you could go a lot further if this wasn't there, get rid of it, okay? So we're just going to think about relaxing forwards to start with. So you're reaching wherever you feel like you can. If possible, try and hold on to the heel. If you can reach the heel, the next thing you want to think about is trying to sink your elbows down to the ground. Good. Then we're going to bring hands in a little bit. We're going to let the body lift a little, but don't go all the way up straight, okay? Stay as far forwards as you can. We're going to squeeze the thigh, and you're going to try and extend this leg all the way straight. 2, 3. Good. Keep going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then hold this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let it relax. Opposite hand, if you can. If not, you could use your stretchy band here. Wrap it around the foot and then hold it with the opposite hand, okay? Or opposite hand goes around the outsides of the toes, okay? We're going to pull on that foot. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to stretch our other leg out straight. And then we're going to pull this leg, so I'm going to pull it towards the wall behind me. Sit up as tall as you can and then twist. And what you should feel is up here. Okay, at the outside of that leg, so the IT band might be grumbling at you. Keep as tall as possible. If you don't feel it much, lift the leg a bit higher and twist a bit further, and then really turn this shoulder away. Good, and now you're gonna let that knee bend, and you're gonna cross the foot over the opposite knee. Getting very dark in here, aren't I? And then we're just gonna lean forwards. So you're letting that knee sit out to the side. Is it like about to thunderstorm? Is that what's going on? Oh, now you can't see me again. Oh, my bloody house is ridiculous. 1 second, guys. You keep stretching. Don't like putting the lights on in the daytime. It's far too much of a waste of electric. Good. Okay, so we're going to switch sides. So that foot is just sitting out. We're to pop in the block under our knee. We're trying to flatten our back. Reaching forwards. If we can, we try and grab the heel, but don't panic if you can't. Oh, there was that optional block here if you wanted it. The reason for this, by the way, is because it encourages you to try and make the stomach to thigh connection. Lots of people don't think about this part, and they think about this part. By having a block here, it forces you to do this, which is really important, okay? So if you don't feel like you do that, and a block could be too much, it could be easier maybe with a pillow, but focus on that sensation of trying to get thigh and stomach connected all the time. And don't give me that, my tummy is already on my thigh, shit, because lockdown diet is all bleh, right? Been there, heard that, will not work. Okay, now you're gonna bring the hands in just a little bit. Keep leaning as far forwards as you feel like you can. If it feels quite easy, remember, go a bit further forwards. And we're going to extend this leg. Ready, go. 1, 2, is it hailstoning? 3, 4, you're not going to be able to hear me soon. 5, my internet will probably cut out too. 6, 7, 8, 9, and hold this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. So you can use your strap or your hands, or reach into the little toe with the opposite hand. You're going to lift that leg up, and you're going to extend your other leg. You're going to twist it across the body, and then you're going to turn your chest away. Oh my God, it's so noisy. Then we're going to bend it, pop the foot over the knee, let it sit down, and then walk it forwards. Oh my gosh! I've told you guys before I live in a greenhouse though, haven't I? Pretty much. So like, it's all pretty glass noise. My baby's going to be awake in a minute thinking the ceiling is coming down. Come out. Good. Okay. So last bit, flossing. So we're going to lie back. Done quite a hamstring focus today. I hope that was all right with you guys. I will do actual splits in a sec, but they won't be super very hippie. Nerve gliding is trying to, or nerve flossing is trying to go through a range of movements that encourage the nerve to hopefully move, so whatever it's strapping on, or any sort of knots and adhesions that where it might be sticking to fascia, it's meant to release that, okay? Now we're going to do like 30 seconds-ish on each side, but what you might find is that you need to do this for 5 minutes to get a real benefit, or you might find you need to do it for 20 seconds and you're good to go, okay? It's very, very individual depending how often you do this. So if when we switch sides, you can still feel it quite strong, it's an implication you want to do it. You basically do it until you can't feel the difference anymore, okay? So I'm going to hold on to the back of my knee, and I've got a pointed foot. I'm going to let the leg extend. It doesn't matter if when it extends, it wants to come over here, okay? If it's uncomfortable, you could again use a strap, okay? So I extend it with a pointed foot. Then I flex my foot as strong as possible, and that should give you that pulley sensation straight away. And then keeping it strong flexed, I'm going to pull the heel into my bum. Then I'm going to point, and then I'm going to kick it straight. Strong flex towards the bum. Point, extend, strong flex. Repeat. Oh, my knee in case you could hear that. So we're going to do another 5 repetitions. But as I said, you might find that you need to do loads. You might find that you didn't need this many. Oh.
4 4 1 6 1 9
Oh,
4 6
apparently
4
someone's
9
calling me.
9 2.
Switch sides. I never know now. And then we're going to go point, flex, heels bum. I don't know how you hang up on an iPhone anymore. That little red button's vanished. It's terribly awkward. So we go point, extend, flex, bend. So hopefully, even if we're not doing it quite long enough for you to feel it go away completely, you're noticing it's not as intense as it was the first few repetitions, the longer you go on. Part of sort of all the neuromuscular type stretching things are always related as well, just literally to tricking your brain into thinking it's quite nice. Doing it a few times goes, oh, that wasn't as terrible as I thought it was going to be. It allows the relaxed response to kick in, which is what we need Last one. Good. Awesome. Right, so just before we actually do splits, I just want to hit the hips again. We did them just a tiny bit at the beginning. But yeah, we're just going to do them one more time. So if you have a wall available and if you have a cushion, this is my quick fire, Joe's favourite exercise, my quick fire hips. By quick fire, it's brutal, but does what we need to do. So if you had really flexible hips, you could make it a bit harder by putting a block underneath the pillow. If you don't have old lady knees, you don't necessarily need a pillow, but I'd recommend one. So we're just going to back the knee up to the wall. If you have really tight quads, that might be too intense. You might want to come a bit further forwards. Okay. You're going to take the other foot out, and you want your blocks handy to help you lift the body. So from here, we're going to use the blocks to give us a little push up. And then if we can, we're going to use the knee to push our hips all the way back towards the wall. So we're going to stretch this quad. If you don't feel much, try and think about taking the arch here out of the low back. So then I'm going to tuck it under some more. Focus on trying to breathe for me, guys. And then big deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to push the hips forwards. We're going to make sure that foot stays pointing directly up. We're going to squeeze the bum. We're going to push down towards the floor. You're going to use the blocks if you want to, or you could rest on the knee. And then we're going to try and tuck the pelvis and then arch it again. Tuck, arch. So don't be surprised if when you tuck, you have to come quite a long way out. If it feels okay, intensify by taking that front foot a little bit further away. And then you're just going to sink it as low as you can. And if you felt like you could, you don't have to. You're going to put your hands onto your low back and just push forwards and down. So bring both hands onto your knee to finish, if you can, and then twist towards the front leg side. So try and turn the torso. And come out. It's all the noise in my house. Can you now hear my brother-in-law downstairs smashing out his bathroom? It's what you want in a relaxing stretch session, isn't it? Chaos. Absolute chaos. So, knee against the wall, foot pointing straight up. Bring it up. Nearly there, guys. You're doing really well. Just keep breathing. These ones for some people are so horrible. And now we're going to do our big deep breath. And we're going to sink it forwards, pushing through that foot into the wall. Dropping those hips as much as we can. And then we're going to take the arch out of the back, so square the hips slightly and then relax them down again. Tuck the pelvis and relax it. Tuck, relax it. And then just sink it as low as I can. If you wanted to, move that front foot forwards a little bit. If you could, you're going to move the hands onto the low back and push forwards and down. And then, if we can, both hands on the knee, and we're going to turn towards the front leg side with the torso. It's a big twist. That's it. And come out. Good. You might want to keep your pillow for your knee for splits. It's up to you. Depends how your knees usually react. So, where's my mat? Splits. Splits, splits, splits. So, as I said a minute ago, I focused quite a lot today on hamstrings. So hopefully they feel good. Don't be too surprised if your hip is a little bit less cooperative, okay? Because it could have done with more. Okay, so if you want to use a pillow if you need, you can. We're just going to do 30 seconds as a hold, so we're not going to sit on the blocks. You can use them for your hands, but not underneath you as a tower. If you are quite a long way from the splits and you have chairs handy, use them to help make sure your torso is lifted. The biggest mistake I see all the time in splits is people folding over that front leg, okay? Where possible, your shoulders should be right above your hips, okay? And that's gonna help make sure the stretch is even. Loads of people tell me that, oh, I only really feel it in that front leg, and it's because you folded over it, okay? Which puts all the stretch on the leg rather than on the hip. Okay, so we're gonna go 1 foot forwards, 1 foot backwards. If you have a better leg, do that one second. Do your worst side now. So 1 foot forwards, 1 foot backwards, tuck those toes. We're gonna push forwards and back. Straighten the front leg, push the back hip down. Now you're gonna make sure the back leg stays nice and straight, and you're gonna slide forwards, letting the front foot point into your best split without that back foot, back knee dropping down. When you feel like you can't go any further, you're going to flex the foot to try and slide a bit more. So now you're going to let the back knee drop down, and you're going to lift the chest up. Use your blocks, so walking backwards. In the wall. So keep thinking about squaring, so we're tucking that back hip under. And come out. Good job. Okay, that was your test. Switch sides. So we're going 1 foot forwards, 1 foot backwards. And slide fully. So the back leg staying straight to start with. Now you're gonna let the back knee sit down. Shoulders are lifted. Breathe. And come out. Good job. Rid of my pillows, time to sabotaging me. Okay, so we're going to repeat. We're not going to hold the straight leg for just as long, and we're just going to focus on a couple breaths this time. Okay, so back to the first side. You are so nearly there. If you take progress photos, you could set your camera up for this one if you wanted to, but you don't have to. Ready? So we're going to bounce forwards and backwards. Now we're going to slide, keeping the back toe tucked, knee squeezing straight as we can. Now we're going to let it drop down, and we're just going to try and breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And come out. Very good. And then we're going to switch sides. Ready. Forwards and back. And then slide. So keep that back knee tucked if you can. And then drop it down. Big deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And relax. Good job, guys. Finished. So I'm not going to make stretch because you've obviously just been stretching. So just take some nice big deep breaths and relax. So well done, guys. As I said, it was pretty hamstring focused because that's the bit that most people tell me they have an issue with. But yeah, super good. Hopefully your legs feel a little bit longer now. Yeah, so have a great rest of your rainy day, if it's as miserable where you are as it is where I am. Hopefully it's not. And Saturday, and I might see some of you on Sunday for the unknown workshop that I still haven't decided what it's meant to be, because nobody gave me any suggestions and I don't know what to do with you guys. And Harriet wasn't free to do her flow shit, so I don't know what to do. I thought about doing like core bracing, because as much as I love all of you, I have been nitpicking everyone's planks, so I feel like I need to teach core bracing, but I might just do a subtle Instagram post to pinpoint that instead. So if you decide anything that you'd like to do in a workshop, let me know.
Please don't
You're already
nitpick
doing a
my
handstand
plank.
class now. It seems stupid. What are you shouting at me, Kaylee? You're muted.
Please don't nitpick my plank. That's the
What are
only
you shouting
thing I
at me?
feel confident in.
I still can't hear you. Where have you gone?
Can
Still
you hear
can't-
me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah. I was saying, please don't nitpick my plank. That's the only thing I feel confident with.
They're good, like, as in not you specifically, as in everyone's a fan. And it would never have bothered me before, but like, because I've done recently, I've done so much like extra. I've just done my PT course, and then I'm writing a pre and postnatal course, so like it's all to do with it's all to do with core bracing, and like, so even like the instructors, like it's the instructors that I'm aiming it at a little bit, because I watched them with this, where they're just like this, right? That's fine. Normally that should be no problem. It should be like this. That's all. It's this much, but my irritated little eyeballs are like, oh no.
You're all about the tilt.
Literally, that's what I said, isn't it? Aerial is all about the pelvic tilt. But yeah, so if you think of anything you'd like to do, I thought about doing
Did you do any foam rollering?
I videoed the first hour of it. I haven't videoed the second hour yet.
Right.
But I didn't want to do that. There's no point doing it live because it's a lot more of a chat than it is like a class.
Okay.
It shows you like the bit I've done. I have foam rolling techniques, but it's a lot more about explaining why you should do it, and other types of myofascial release that you can do on yourself and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll see. I thought about doing like a breakdown of simple floor work.
to like the cool stuff that you do in heels and things, but like really simplified. But yeah, who knows? We'll see what I come up with. But yeah, right. Have a lovely rest of your day anyway, guys. And I'll see some of you maybe on Sunday.
Thanks now.
Bye.
Bye.